constituents objecting to it, and I thought that there was a bailout plan which led the fight to bail out the banks first, the large banks, the Wall Street banks first, and the people who have their tax dollars committed, I doubt that they will ever see that money again.
How long do you think it'll take for this to kick in?
Hopefully tomorrow, but the experts tell me that it will take a year or two.
A year or two for the nation to get back on track?
To get back on track.
Do you see that as being pretty realistic?
I hope that it is true. The current plan is to cooperate with the global resources in the global plan. That's good. That is good because we cannot do it by ourselves with the needs that we have.
You serve on the banking committee. What were the conversations like in that room when you guys were all discussing this? And obviously you opposed it both times. How many other people were backing you, and why couldn't you change more minds to take a slower approach to all of it?
Because the President and the Treasury and the Fed and the leadership of both parties supported it, and was passed by a vote of 75 to 25, 24, and that was hopeless from the beginning. I thought that there was a need for a plan, and hopefully that plan will adjust itself to being an effective plan.
Some people say that not to point fingers or blame, but that the Democrats pushed for less regulation, I guess, of companies like Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac to allow more affordable housing for middle or lower income people. How much do you see that policy changing in the future, and are those people almost going to be shut out because of what's happened?
Both parties are at fault. The Democrats because of Fannie and Freddie, and the Republicans because of Wall Street and the financial institutions. The plan was to deregulate almost everything. The program led the charge and deregulating the financial organizations, so that both parties have fault, and the administration has its fault because of the Fed and the Treasury and the SEC and the FTC did not work asleep as a switch, because the Republicans thought that deregulation was the way of the future, and the Democrats didn't crack down hard enough on Fannie and Freddie.
Do you see that really hurting the middle or lower income people in the future towards getting a house?
Yes, in the time being. The hardship will be here for a year or two, especially the middle class and working class people. I hope to mitigate that by sponsoring the home buying issues, the FHA, and so on. but we are in hard times. Between the war, which has spent $700 billion, and the economy, which has spent $700 billion. Between the two of them, we're at $1.4 trillion.
What do you think is going to be the biggest challenge facing South Dakota over the next couple of years?
I am optimistic about South Dakota. The ag economy is doing fairly well. The tourism economy is getting the second wind behind lower gas prices. The banking economy is doing pretty well in the credit card portion of the economy. And the young people are attracted by the research we have going in, and the deep underground lab in the east and the Arrows Data Center, and our colleges. I attracted $9 million this year alone to the School of Mines, and it doesn't look that bad. Our banks have not gone in heavily with the subprime lending, and they have been pretty conservative about those issues. Nonetheless, we are all tied in as a nation, and the people and the banks in California, Nevada, and Florida weren't as conservative as we were, and it could all come down with a crash, but I don't think so. Life in South Dakota is pretty good, and the economy is pretty good, and
so in other words, our biggest challenge is just not falling in the pit with the rest of the
yeah,
country.
yeah.